I'm honored to open the 13th edition of the Week of Innovating Regions in Europe conference. I'm sorry I cannot be there in Budapest to greet all of you in person. Let me start by thanking and congratulating the Hungarian National Research, Development and Innovation Office for organizing the WIRE conference as part of the events program of the Hungarian presidency of the Council, with the support of the European Commission through Horizon Europe. The theme of this year's conference is Regions as Catalysts of European Research, Development and Innovation Competitiveness. During these 2 days, you will hear and discuss how regions can and should play a key role in fostering research and innovation to boost European competitiveness and in reducing the fragmentation of the European innovation ecosystem. I think we can all agree that research and innovation are key ingredients, if not the key ingredients of EU's competitiveness. Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has emphasized the importance of placing research and innovation, science and technology at the heart of our economy in her political guidelines. And this has been highlighted in recent high-level reports, such as the Letter report on the single market, the Draghi report on EU competitiveness, as well as a report from the Commission expert group on the interim evaluation of Horizon Europe, the so-called HATER report. European leaders, in their call for a new competitiveness deal, also stressed the need for increased investments to achieve the target of 3% of GDP spending on research and development. Over the past few decades, as you all know, the competitiveness of the EU vis-à-vis third countries like the United States has significantly declined, as evidenced by its slower productivity and economic growth. In this context, restoring our competitiveness is vital for preserving the EU's social model, accelerating the twin transition and achieving strategic autonomy, given the current geopolitical landscape that we live in. This calls for strengthening our research and innovation performance and for a new set of more ambitious policies in the coming years, which need the steer and support of all levels of administration, from the European to the national, regional and local ones, working together. Europe has all the resources to lead the global innovation race. We have excellent researchers in science, we have excellent innovation talent, first-class research centers and world-class research and technology infrastructures. But we also face some obstacles that hinder the full deployment of our potential. First, we still do not invest sufficiently in research and innovation. At 2.3% of our GDP, we are still far from reaching the 3% R&D target that we set for ourselves more than 2 decades ago. Bridging this investment gap is of paramount importance, especially as we see the US pushing through sharply in the past years to reach R&D investment levels of nearly 3.5%. Second, we still suffer from an innovation divide. Many regional and national ecosystems continue to lag behind and are unable to mobilize their full potential. R&D investments vary widely across member states, with some of the weakest performers not even reaching a 1% investment of their GDP. Some countries with very low levels have also recorded the smallest increases between 2001 and 2021, pointing to a growing innovation gap in some cases. The innovation divide is also visible within member states, with both R&D expenditure and innovation outputs too concentrated in capital regions. In addition, many national and regional innovation ecosystems suffer from deep structural shortcomings that hinder their ability to make an effective and impactful use of the low R&D investments. If we do not manage to mobilize all the potential throughout the EU, will not be able to achieve our objectives to remain an innovation leader globally, and this can have deep economic, social, and political consequences for the overall cohesion of the EU. Third, Europe's research and innovation ecosystem remains fragmented. This hinders our ability to pull resources together against common global challenges, to reach minimum critical mass and achieve larger efficiency and effectiveness in our actions. In order to address these obstacles, at the EU level, the European Commission has already adopted a series of measures. First, to address our underinvestment and innovation divide, in the current multi-annual financial framework, the Recovery and Resilience Facility will mobilize more than 55 billion euros devoted to research and innovation. Horizon Europe, the world's largest and most ambitious program in terms of funding, will mobilize more than 95 billion with a dedicated widening program for countries and regions lagging behind. Cohesion policy will also mobilize more than 35 billion euros for research and innovation. Secondly, a revitalized European research area policy agenda has been set in place since 2021 to continue to address the fragmentation. The next cycle of the ERA policy agenda for the years 25 to 27 is expected to be adopted in the first half of 25. We will build on what we have achieved so far. We want to continue advancing our ambition to create a single, borderless market for research, innovation and technology across Europe, and establish ERA as the fifth freedom, as affirmed by the recent Letta report. Third, to address our innovation deficit, the new European Innovation Agenda, which was launched 2 years ago, identified key priorities for joint actions to structure an innovation policy agenda. One of its 25 measures, the Regional Innovation Valleys, plays an important role in promoting interconnected ecosystems where European talent is pooled through inter-regional collaborations. Despite these efforts, we are well aware that the EU alone cannot manage to move the needle and achieve our common objectives. We need to work hand in hand in building coordinated long-term policies together with national and regional administrations and in close partnership with innovators and other institutional partners. We can only achieve our objectives if we work together. The WIRE conference is a great occasion to discuss and exchange best practices on how regions can be catalysts for change in place-based innovation. What are the tools and funding opportunities that are available for regional and local authorities? What we can improve in the future as we prepare for the next multi-annual financial framework and the continuation of Horizon Europe. The stakes are high, but I'm confident in our ability to achieve our ambitious goals. I wish you a fruitful exchange and rich conference. Thank you for your kind attention.
Hello, everyone. I think you can hear me well. Thank you. I am honored to speak after Deputy Director General Signe Ratso, and I am honored to welcome you in the Week of Innovative Regions 2024 conference in Budapest, Hungary. I am Borbála Schenk, the Head of Department for International Affairs at the National Research Development and Innovation Office in Hungary. And I have two hats now here in this welcoming speech. One hat is being the head of the organizing team of this conference, and the other hat is the host and the speaker on behalf of the Ministry for Culture and Innovation and the Hungarian presidency of the European Council. First of all, I would like to thank the European Commission for their support and for making this event possible, the Week of Innovative Regions Conference in Hungary, in Budapest. I have 3 very, very good reasons to be happy here in this short and brief welcoming speech. One is that throughout the months we have been preparing the program of the conference, we, I hope, managed to put together a program that is addressing very important priorities of the European research, development and innovation discussions, but also the Hungarian presidency. First of all, the Hungarian presidency set as a priority to boost the European competitiveness through multiple factors, including research, development and innovation. In these 2 days, we are going to have the chance to discuss different factors of how the competitiveness of the European Union can be multiplied, can be strengthened by research, development and innovation, and also by understanding and strengthening the role of regions in this discussion and also in this process. Second of all, it is also a priority of the Hungarian presidency to combat the fragmentation of the European research, development and innovation ecosystems. This conference is addressing this priority, this ambition from 2 aspects. First of all, we are going to discuss how regions can be catalysts for fostering the quadruple helix research and innovation ecosystems. And the other aspect we are going to tackle is how regions can help overcoming the divide, the innovation divide between various regions of Europe. And thirdly, I am very happy to announce that we have 165 participants registered for this conference from 22 countries, and a large number of the participants are coming from the widening region, which is for us especially important, and we are very happy to be able to mobilize interest from a region which is not always very active in these conversations, but we do hope that this conference will be a great opportunity to channel these different types of experiences, ideas, and creativity in this ongoing discussion. I would like to thank all the speakers of our conference for making this event an inspiring and very exciting 2 days we are really looking forward to. And also I would like to thank our host, the Moholy-Nagy University of Arts and Design, for providing such a great and inspiring venue for our discussions. The motto of our conference was be a part of shaping European discussion, be a part of shaping a discussion that boosts European competitiveness. For this, I would like to wish you all exciting discussions, exciting exchanges of ideas for these 2 days. And we have to know that this conference will not stop, will not end tomorrow at 3:20 when the closing session finishes, but the videos will be available. A publication will also be available with the main takeaway messages and the most important lessons learned. So we do hope that this conference will have the potential of shaping this discussion of the European RDI competitiveness for a long time. Thank you very much for being here, and I wish you, on behalf of the Ministry for Culture and Innovation and the National Research, Development and Innovation Office, a very fruitful, very exciting 2 days at the WIRE conference. Thank you very much.
dear guests, dear participants, dear colleagues. My name is Réka Matheidesz. I'm the CEO of this university, and it's a great honor to host you at our campus, at the campus of MOME, the University of Art and Design in Budapest. Having spent my first 15 years of my career in cohesion policy, it's my personal pleasure to speak at this conference and to be here actively with you. Let me shortly introduce and give you an overview of our institution, of our university, of what we do here, and also highlight the opportunities and the potential design can do in fostering competitiveness, fostering regional innovation. The three gentlemen you see in the picture are the three main figures whose legacy is really important at our university and who shape the mission and values of our universities. The first one is Franz Josef, who was the founder of these universities, but I would like to speak more about the two, László Moholy-Nagy, the second and the third figure, Ernő Rubik, who you see in the picture. László Moholy-Nagy was one of the greatest figures of the Bauhaus movement in the 1930s, and he was very novel and very revolutionary in introducing interdisciplinarity and combining and connecting art, architecture, photography, and putting all this into a social contact. So his approach and his vision is very important in forming the mission of our university, and it was a very important driving force when we took over his name in 2006. The third gentleman, Ernő Rubik, who was the inventor of the Rubik Cube, is also very important. He was a lecturer at our university and also an alumni of this university, and it was actually in this building that the Rubik Cube was invented. So his approach to design and using design as a core to innovation and a core driving force for innovation is the second very important mission that we also think and value, that we think very important when defining our roles and in the ecosystem. So we think of ourselves, we think of our university as a community of students, researchers, innovators who work very closely together for a mission-driven approach and for giving possible solutions for future challenges. These challenges, let it be economic, social, or wider challenges. The university has three pillars. The biggest and most important being, of course, the academia, which is the educational pillar of the university. It's a small university, meaning we have 950 students altogether in the BA, MA, and the doctorate program. We have a tech park, which is the technological background for the university, providing cutting-edge technology for both researchers, students, and lecturers. And the Innovation Center, which is the third pillar, which is the home for research and development and innovation activities of the university. When we talk about the innovation and research activities, we can gather them in three main points. What I have already mentioned is creating impact and using design as a driving force for innovation in all our projects, in all our research initiatives. We think of ourselves as a player to inspire also other designers across the Central and Eastern European region, but also an actor who inspires other players from other sectors and other areas, other disciplines. And also, we think of ourselves not as a standalone institution, but as an innovation ecosystem and building up on a very close cooperation with diverse stakeholders around the universities, nationally and internationally. In the second part of my lecture, after giving a very brief overview of our institution, I would like to talk a little bit about the potential of design, both on a micro and macro level. So we work very closely with companies, we work very closely with the market, and we have the Innovation Center has just conducted, well, it's the second research project to have an overview of the maturity of companies when it comes to design. So how do companies approach design, and how do they use design, and what do they think about design as a tool for their competitiveness, as a tool for having a competitive position at the market. So the CE Design Maturity Trend Report, which is the second in a row. The first was conducted in Hungary, and the second was extended into the region, involving Poland and Slovakia as well. The methodology contained 35 questions, and it was a mix of methods asking senior management, participants, and business leads. So you see that Poland, Slovakia, and Hungary were involved, with altogether 276 answers. So altogether, something happened with this slide. Sorry about that. So this should be summarizing the number of participants who participated according to the size of the company. That in the first one, and that is according to the sector they were active in. And as a result of this survey, we concluded that there were 4 different levels of design maturity that companies use. The first one, we called it the 4P. The first one is potential, where companies use design exclusively for aesthetics only, so for example, their brand identity. The second level is progress, which means design is used for improving client experience. So UX design was already introduced as a design discipline. Level number 3 is perspective, where design starts to be used for internal services and internal operations, using, for example, service design as an important tool. And the fourth one, the most mature and the most developed, is where design is being introduced and being used as part of the strategy and being implemented throughout the overall operations of the company. This was the micro level when we talk about companies and the competitiveness of companies. We truly believe in that design has a very strong potential to improve competitiveness on a micro level, but it also has a very important role on a macro level when we talk about regional development, when we talk about a national or international level. There are several design-related methodologies that we think could have a greater potential in using in different levels of innovation. Just to name a few, design thinking, you probably already know, is a discipline that is widely spread, but I would like to raise the attention to a very exciting methodology called speculative design, which designs for the future and designs with a methodology not taking into consideration the restrictions of the present. And it's a very good tool to give us scenarios for different unpredictable or predictable futures. Or data visualization is also a very good tool when we talk about awareness raising, or when we talk about how to bring attention to impact of different levels, either economic or social impact. And of course, service design is also something that can be used not only within a company's operation, but also as a wider level. I collected a few projects to give you, I think maybe it gives you a better, more thorough look into how these methodologies can be used, and also the potential of design and the complexity design can bring when tackling social or economic problems. They are all projects that students make, so they are all student projects. Some of them are diploma projects, some of them are award projects, so the student prepared and got awarded for internationally, and some of them are just class projects that were produced over class. So I selected 4 of these projects, but I would also like to raise your attention to the exhibition that is downstairs at the ground, where there is an exhibition of future materials and a selection of works that students, researchers, and some partners have elaborated in the area of future materials and circular economy. But let me go back to the project. And I have selected different areas. This is an upcycling architectural project, but I think it's a very exciting project also to highlight what a student-level project can also bring new thoughts in regional development, for example. This student, this is a diploma work, by the way. This student, an architecture student, he was addressing a challenge in the eastern part of Hungary, where the train line 78, sorry, it's called, is not working anymore. It used to connect smaller, abandoned, smaller villages, smaller towns. It's not working anymore, and also these little towns are disadvantaged and lack a lot of services, let it be health services or other services that attract population there. So what he was saying is it's a great infrastructure to use, it's a great infrastructure to think for further use, and he designed a service complex using the train and the train line itself, and also this service complex comprising of health services, pharmacy, doctors, shops, for example, that were absent in the region, and by connecting these and using also the buildings of the train stations, designing a very complex system of services at the region, and thus a good potential for attracting new population. So that's an exciting example for upcycling architecture. This other project, a social resilience project, is also using the future, speculative design methodology that I had mentioned before. And it's, this is an award-winning project, but it was elaborated during a class. And the students were given the task of working with the climate crisis challenge in Hungary in 2030. So they had to imagine a scenario in 2030 where the climate crisis hits Hungary. So this student worked with the Great Plain of Hungary, which is predicted to be a desert by 2030 due to climate change. And this will bring about a lot of changes in the flora and the fauna, of course, of this region. So he searched that the bees will be completely extinct due to this change in the flora, and that there will be no bees in the region. at the time. So he did a research and found an ant species in Australia that has the same abilities as the bees, so they can produce honey as well. So they are called honey ants, and are completely adapted to deserts and that climate in Australia. So what he did after this research, he designed a complete farm for these honey ants. And not only did he design the plant itself, but also the complete manufacturing structure, the complete way of how the honey would be produced, and also the product itself. So it's a very complex example of how, with speculative design, given to this future scenario of climate change, he came up with this solution of designing a completely new farm with these new species. The third example is also a very nice example of data storytelling. So we use a lot of data, and we tend to try to persuade people with the data we have, but just using charts is usually not enough. So these methodologies, data storytelling, and using, for example, data sculptures or data as a source for designing products, is also very exciting to see how the data can be the basis of designing an object. So this student, it's also a diploma work called Heina Jedwicki. She designed a database objects, dysfunctional tableware, which represents, or which were designed based on the data gathered at Lake Balaton. Lake Balaton is the biggest lake in Hungary, and in recent years there have been a lot of overuse of the territory and also of the shores, and there have been a lot of overbuilding and a lot of cutting of the natural environment. So what she did here is she showed this human intervention happening at Lake Balaton by this table bar. For example, in the plates you see in the bottom, that shows the slope, the agriculture, the erosion of the natural slope used for agriculture, vineyards usually. And so this is how over the 4 past years this erosion has increased. And you can see how this is represented by the angle of the plate there. And it also shows that the more the plate, the steeper it is, the more and more difficult it is to eat from it. So it's also a very nice way. She was also organizing a sort of a play out of this, so how the different tableware made it more and more difficult to eat from the designed object. For the mugs, for example, they represent the natural, the plant, the breed that grows from the water, and that has been very drastically cut due to the overbuilding of the territory. So that actually shows the ratio of the fresh cuts and the natural environment that was left. So it also shows that it makes it very difficult to drink from it. The mug, unfortunately you cannot see the top, it also shows the ratio, it's concrete from the inside, and it also shows the ratio of the building and the natural environment. And the concrete inside makes it very thick and very little room for the water to be filled, so it actually makes it very difficult for usage. So that's also a very nice example of how we can show data in a more innovative, some different ways. And the last one is an example from the circular economy or the challenge of creating nature-based yards and textile materials. This project is exhibited at the Future Materials exhibition downstairs at the ground. So if you have a look, you'll be able to see that in person. As you probably know, the fashion industry and the textile industry is one of the most polluting industries in the world. And this student was experimenting with introducing nature-based yards in the textile industry by only using natural sources and natural colors. And this gave a very, and this is all made of different beetles and different little insects colorings. So they're all natural colors, and also the more shiny you see in a fabric, the most synthetic it is usually. So she wanted to experiment of how can these shiny yards can be substituted by a natural version of the yard. So this is an experiment of the material research, and it's a very nice example of also, she made it open source for all the small emerging textile designers to use her experiments and her results in their activities. So these were the 4 examples I wanted to show you. And just one last slide is MoME is a strategic partner to the New European Bauhaus initiative initiated by the Commission. And as part of this approach, which is of course very near to, very close to our mission of combining sustainability, inclusion and aesthetics, we are organizing with our partner, the Young Architectural Center. We are organizing an event next week in the theme of the New European Bauhaus, and that will be exploring exactly the potential of design and looking at the potential of design methodology in local and central development, regional development. So thank you very much. This was all I wanted to, just to give you a brief overview and an insight of what we do here at this university. So I wish you a very nice conference for the rest of the day. Thank you.